Ever felt like you were stuck on autopilot, cruising through life without actually taking anything in? Well, here now with tips on how to break us out of that state, we welcome California life coach and author Dr. Dain Heer. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeanette. Great to be with you.
Yeah. So when you say autopilot, do you mean that something or someone else is steering the plane?
Basically that. You know, and most of us, what happens is we live our lives on autopilot, trying to do everything that we're supposed to do and make right. We wake up in our 40s and go, wait a minute, what part of this life has to do with me?
So how do you suddenly snap out of that? That can't be easy.
Well, one of the things you want to do is you want to actually get aware that a lot of the things you're trying to create your life as, you got from your parents before you ever, reach puberty even. Because we see our parents, we are around them the most, so we pick up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So one of the things you can do is actually write down everything about life that you believe from mom and everything about life you believe from dad. And then...
So like, for example, Mum said, be kind to others.
Be kind to others.
That kind of thing or something.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Yeah, now that's actually a really cool one, because that can tend to work.
Yeah.
But let's say something like money is a struggle.
Okay.
Or you can't ever have too much. Or you're going to have to work too hard and life is no fun. All these points of view, even if they didn't say them, they're these points of view that we have in our heads.
Okay.
And what you want to do is go through that list and go, which of these are actually true for me? And put a check mark next to them and go, which of these are absolutely not true for me that I have in my life right now? So it starts to give you the awareness of where you started creating this stuff, then you can start to change it. And
you start to strike it out of your life, do you?
Exactly.
If it is not yours.
Yes.
So you've got some tools to get people started on this, you know. Number one is having an interesting point of view. What do you mean by that?
Well, here's the thing. What we tend to do is we tend to try to say, this is right, this is wrong, this is a good point of view, this is a bad point of view. And most of all the points of view about what's right and wrong are things that, once again, are not ours.
Yeah. So
if you want to change that, what you can do is for every point of view you find yourself having throughout the day, you go, interesting point of view, I have this point of view. And what'll happen is it kind of does this to your head and then say it again, interesting point of view, I have this point of view. If you say it between 3 and 10 times, what happens is rather than having a point of view about right or wrong, all of a sudden now it's just, oh, it's an interesting point of view.
Okay.
Way to change the weird stuff that goes on in your head.
The second one is ask yourself, are these thoughts and feelings mine?
Yeah. Like similar to what we spoke about, where you pick up things from your parents, we actually do it in real time, believe it or not. Like a lot of times what'll happen is if you're having sadness or if you're having anger or if you're having a feeling like, I'm depressed, I can't do it, ask this question, who does this belong to? If the thing that you're going through lightens up at all, it's because you were maybe driving by somebody who had it, or somebody in your family has it and they're thinking about you, trying to say, call me, I need help.
When you're picking up on that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like big psychic radio receivers. I literally have had people cure themselves of depression using primarily that one tool.
Really?
Yeah, really. Every time they were depressed, they went, who does this belong to? And what would happen is, see, if you ask that and it lightens, like let's say depressed, as an example. If you get a little less depressed, it's because it's not yours. Whatever that is something that you're aware of in the world.
You've offloaded.
Exactly.
To someone else.
Yeah.
Can deal with it.
And that's the thing is they've offloaded it onto you, and now it's like, I ain't taking that. Thank you very much.
Number 3 I've got here is question obstacles. What do you mean by that?
Well, what happens is, see, a question always empowers. An answer disempowers. And the answer is kind of like, that's a big obstacle, I'll never get over it. But if you start to ask a question like, wait, how does it get any better than this? If you ask that when something good happens or when something bad happens, what happens is it makes it even better. What most people do is they go, oh my gosh, that's bad, I can't change it. And whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. This is a way of changing it so you can see some other possibilities that you didn't know existed before.
So you're stopping and you're taking time and you're voicing it and you're making it real and loud.
Yeah, and you're voicing it, and you're also voicing it and asking for something to be different. So when you say, how does it get any better than this? And another great question you can ask is, what's right about me that I'm not getting? Most of us tend to live in such a state of the wrongness of us. I didn't do this well enough. I did this, it was great, but it wasn't good enough. And so this is another way of getting out of the sort of autopilot of the wrongness of you.
Giving yourself a little bit of a break,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, yes, it would. Choose every 10 seconds. What does that even mean?
That is a bizarre one. I know I say that because people go, what are you talking about?
Yes.
It's like this. So if I had 10 seconds to live the rest of my life, what would I choose? Okay, cool, that lifetime's over. Now you have 10 seconds to choose the rest of your life. What would you choose? What most of us are doing is we're creating our future as though all we have to go on is everything from the past, as though that's going to create our future. when you start asking this bizarre question, if I had 10 seconds to live the rest of my life, what would I choose? All of a sudden
You've got a lot of time to do much.
I know exactly. I don't have time to do much. What am I going to do? You know, I better make it good.
Up.
Well, that's it. Exactly.
Okay.
It's like if I've only got 10 seconds, it better be darn good. And then the next 10 seconds, then you could get to choose again. And the funny part is, you know, people go, oh, well, but I'm going to be so flighty if I do that. It's like, you don't actually get flighty. What you do is you start to go, oh, if I had another choice, what would it be? Rather than going down this road and because I took one step there, I've got to take all 1,000. Now it's like I took one step, oh, that's actually not being fun for me or my family or anybody else. I'm going to make a different choice.
So much food for thought. Thank you so much for stopping by. Lovely to see you again.
You too. Thank you.
And you can find all of today's tips and a whole lot more in Dain's book, which is out right now. Stay with us. We are back just after this from Mel.